You are listening to the Legends Lingo podcast, brought to you by CouchGuySports.com. With your host, Al.
Buddy, you were targeted 6 times, you caught 2 receptions, and did nothing else.
Powder.
Yes, sir.
And Fiesta.
He hasn't done jack. They've won one cup and they made a lot of playoff appearances. But he is a snake, oily snake. He's a crook.
Enjoy the show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Legends Lingo podcast, episode 104, presented by Couch Guy Sports. As always, check out everything on CouchGuySports.com. We have blogs daily for your reading purposes. We have a Twitch channel, Couch Guy Sports Twitch, and we have a lot of content going on. The Yellow Card Podcast boys did live commentary on the Manchester United game the other day. We have the Couch Guy Sports hockey team that's on there, so go check it out. It's a great Twitch page with some great streamers. We also have our YouTube channel, which is where you can find our episodes, Couch Guy Sports podcast episodes, and a bunch of other miscellaneous stuff going on. And obviously, all the podcasts on the network, a few new ones on there. The Fee and E podcast featuring our very own Fee, as well as Bertie and Chris featuring Matt Burnett and Chris Adarizo. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, Chris, but check it out. A ton of great podcasts. We're still always adding. So if you're interested in writing or podcasting, feel free to let us know because we want to try to expand Couch Guy Sports as much as possible. As always, I'm your host, Al. I got Powder. I got Fee. Guys, what's going on?
Nothing much. What's going on with you, Al?
Same old, dude. Work, some baseball, a lot of podcasting, a lot of Couch Guy Sports stuff. Same stuff. What's up, Fee?
Not much, you?
Same. Like I said, just like I said, the Powder. Reinsert
How you doing, Powder?
I'm doing good. My PS5 came yesterday, so that was pretty exciting.
Hey, streaming.
Once I can get everything, I will definitely get on that.
You're just gonna see like Al text streaming ? Every day.
I'm gonna send a bunch of text messages until he answers, but we'll talk about text messages in a second because sometimes, not great. Yeah, Fiesta's 62? Face says it all. Yeah, we ain't talking about home run records, if you know what I'm saying. But let's get into the roll call really quick before we get into our main topics for the night. A lot of NFL stuff, but we're going to start with a quick basketball note. James Harden, the Houston Rockets saga is finally over. The Rockets have traded Harden to the Brooklyn Nets as part of a 4-team trade. If you want to take a look at all the extra stuff that went down with the trade, you can just type in James Harden trade on Google. The New York Yankees, yes, those New York Yankees rival the Red Sox. They made some signings. They re-signed utility infielder DJ LeMahieu to a 6-year, $90 million contract. And they also signed Corey Kluber to a 1-year, $11 million contract. So that's just fun, isn't it, guys? Great. I'm so happy for him, especially since he lives in Boston in the offseason. Anyways, a lot of football stuff, a lot of football just news going around. Baltimore Ravens have made a few notable cuts, including veteran running back Mark Ingram and backup quarterback Robert Griffin III. A lot of hirings for head coaches have happened. The Jets have their new head coach as 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh has agreed to take the Jets job. Saints tight end coach Dan Campbell has agreed to become the next head coach of the Detroit Lions. The Los Angeles Chargers with a little bit of a stunner as they hired Rams defensive coordinator Brandon Staley. And finally, the Atlanta Falcons have hired Titans offensive coordinator Arthur Smith to take their head coaching job. And finally.
Well, before you get to that, remember Dan Campbell?
Yes, I do.
In front of the Dolphins. If people don't remember, it's that Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
So if you want to laugh, you can laugh.
There you go. There's your laugh for the night. Because this next piece is not anything to laugh about. Former Red Sox executive. Yeah, he was with the Red Sox at one point, guys. Former Red Sox executive and now former Mets GM Jared Porter has been fired by the Mets after reports of alleged graphic text messages being sent to a female baseball reporter. The report was that Porter sent 62 messages, some of the text messages being graphic without a response. We're not going to say what exactly they were, but you can use your imagination a little bit. That's it for the roll call. A lot to get to tonight. We're going to start with the Bruins. Not off to a great start. 1-1-1 to start off the season. beat the Devils opening night, lost to the Devils in overtime, and then they lost to the Islanders the other night. So they're sitting at 1-1-1. They don't have an even strength goal yet. It's only between them and the Dallas Stars, and the Dallas Stars haven't played a hockey game yet because of all the COVID outbreaks that are going on. So that should give you a little bit of a indication of how the season's going. I'm going to kick it to our hockey guy, Fee, because Fee has been covering the Bruins very closely. So, Fee, I'm just going to ask you one question. Is it time for concern with the Bruins yet?
If we had to do a panic meter, a 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, I'll give it like a 6.5. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
Because I think granted, you don't have Pasta. So I think when he gets back, you kind of put everybody, the forwards, back into their normal positions. But I'm really confused. Why isn't McAvoy on the number 1 power play unit?
I don't know. That's a good question.
No, that's been really confusing for me because McAvoy's actually been one of their bright spots. He's been much more physical, much more like tough.
Yeah.
There has been the rookies have had on the blue line have had their bumps, so that was going to be expected, but they haven't really played too terrible. But yeah, the even strength goals, that's not good. That actually hasn't happened for a Boston Bruins team since 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
That's been 14 years. So it's an anomaly. Granted, probably the next game they're going to play, they're going to score like 3 even strength goals, and that's how hockey works. But there is some concern. I mean, some of it's going to help when Pasta gets back, but it goes back to the offseason when Mike Hoffman was out there. It's just the depth. You can kind of see the depth. I mean, DeBrusca's been okay. Craig Smith's been okay. They're going to break through. I mean, Nick Ritchie's been good, but you can just tell that if they had one more piece and everybody else was kind of in their regular spot, they'd be okay. But they got to figure some stuff out. I know that the only locks really are Bergeron and Marchand, but everything else, they just need Pasta back to kind of figure everything out. But yeah, it's a little concerning. I would say that, especially with how some teams have been playing so far. But it's early.
And they got the Flyers coming up too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm with you there, Fee. I mean, we'll see what happens to the Bruins. I'm not hitting the panic meter just yet, but they don't start.
I said 6.5. It's just like, all right, you got to be a little concerned, but I mean, it's concerned, but you're looking at it's like, all right, certain things need to happen. It's not like a full blown 8 or 9 where it's just like, all right, sound the alarm. The season's in jeopardy. It's more of like they have to write some things. But.
Right. Not a great start, which is totally fine. Bruins will pick it up. I'm not too worried about them. And I wouldn't be either if you're Bruins fans. But moving on, the Red Sox. What are the Boston Red Sox doing? I mean,
nothing.
Yeah, basically. So I'm going to give a little context here. So I recorded Into the Triangle with Jared Scally and Zach Jezziero on Friday night. So we're recording on Tuesday. Let me get the date. Tuesday, January 19th. We recorded on Friday. We recorded 30 minutes after the Corey Kluber news broke. If you haven't listened to that yet, go listen to that episode because I went on a rant for about 5 minutes on it. I was not happy at all about the Red Sox losing out on Kluber when the Red Sox have been linked to him all offseason, and he lives in Boston in the offseason with his wife. His wife is from, I think, Winchester, Mass. So take that for what it's worth. Like we said in the roll call, the Yankees have made improvements. The Blue Jays are making improvements. They signed Tyler Chatwood and Kirby Yates today. The Rays, I don't know if you guys know this, but here's a little spoiler alert. They went to the World Series this past year in a short season, but they still made it to the World Series. So you're competing with 3 teams in your division. You have one of the top payrolls in baseball, and you're like the kings of interest. Do you guys hear the newest one? They're interested in Nelson Cruz, which I'm like, okay, like that's great, but first of all, you're probably not going to get him just because you're the king of interest anyway. Second of all, where's he going to fit in this equation? JD Martinez going to all of a sudden start playing 120 games in the outfield? I don't think so. So my whole thing is, what direction are you going to go in? Because you need starting pitching. Yes, Trevor Bauer's still out there. Would I love him to be on the Red Sox? Sure. Did we talk about a situation where maybe he signs at spring training and just signs for the sake of signing? Sure. But it's probably not going to happen. I'm not expecting Trevor Bauer to be a Boston Red Sox, and I can acknowledge that. But what direction do you go in? Jake Odorizzi? Okay, great. Low risk, high reward signing. But other than that, like, who can you realistically be like, okay, we can make a move for this guy? Because all the pitchers are flying off the market. So I don't know where this team is going. I just want them to give me a reason to be excited for the 2021 season. That's all I want. Alex Cora's back, great. Chris Sale will be back, hopefully earlier than expected, great. Eddie Rodriguez coming back from COVID, great. Tanner Houck, young guy, great. Nick Pivetta, but they're all question marks right now. That's my whole thing. I believe they're all question marks. So where does this team go from there? So I'm done. I'm going to go to Powder. Then I'm going to Fee. Guys, talk me into liking this Red Sox team because I don't like them right now.
Well, you just have to wait and see what they can do. But like you said, they've been interested on pretty much every free agent you can think of so far this year. And even Andrew Benintendi, there's different reporters have different rumors whether they think he's going to be traded or not traded. Like Legends Lingo guest Jerry Carabas, he had a great tweet today saying, I have no idea what's going on when it comes to Benintendi, because one reporter says that they're close to moving on from Andrew Benintendi, then Peter Gammon says, no, I don't think so. So it's just like one of those things. Who the Red Sox have, we've always heard rumors that they're gonna make a big splash soon, but we've been hearing that since November. So it's just we have to wait and see. I think some of the young guys they have will be bright spots on team if they can make the team out of spring training. But besides that, yeah, there is not a lot to be excited about.
I mean, I don't understand why you were mad about Kluber, but to also have another thing, the Yankees had an inside track on him too.
Yeah, that's true too. I didn't realize that till after.
Yeah, because they had a huge inside track. I mean, it was going to be one of those two teams, and the Yankees are a lot closer to a championship than you are.
They are. Just real quick, the thing that I would say is the reason I was so mad is because, one, it's the Yankees.
Oh, no, I know.
Right. And the second reason is because it felt like he was the best guy that you had an actual shot of getting. And a lot of people were linking Corey Kluber to the Red Sox. So when the Yankees come in and swoop him up, I'm like, all right, like, what are we doing? So that's all it was. But
no. I mean, you have the right to be angry. I was a little frustrated. Then I saw the contract and I was like, oh, I don't blame the Red Sox for kind of saying this, especially if the Red Sox were, I would say, after 2017 or even 2018 and Kluber was available and for $11 million, I think the Red Sox would do it. I think they're like, all right, we have this squad. We can do it. I just think that they're too far away. And it's nothing against them. I mean, the Jays are getting better. I mean, the Jays are linked to Springer and Michael Brantley. I mean, they could get one of those guys, and that lineup just becomes deeper. The Yankees are linked to Brantley. I mean, I think the Red Sox, from what the rumors have said about Benintendi, I think that's going to be the first shoe to drop before anything else. Because they want a young pitcher, a major league ready pitcher, young pitcher, and an outfielder with a sizable, decent contract. So, like, we're here in Miami. So I'm thinking like Cito Sanchez and Starlin Marte. That might be the deal. That's just an example. I'm not saying that like that seems like the deal that would happen in that sense. And then they would go get like an Ozuna or Brantley on a short-term deal. And then they go get a high-end reliever, and then they go get a utility second baseman that primarily plays second. I mean, there's still a lot of free agents. I just think that they're going to do enough so it's not like last year that they're a competitive ball club, keeps you interested until late August, and then they fade in September. And then they go for the big splash next offseason, which is a much better free agent group. I have no high hopes. I mean, it's kind of, you're going to see a theme with me. You're kind of irrelevant. And it's fine with that. You're gonna see a theme with that. Just wait out because you're gonna see something. So, but that's kind of it. So, I see is like it feels like they're gonna do enough, and then they're gonna just go all in 2022 and beyond. So that's how.
So let me ask you guys this just real quick, and just a quick yes or no answer. If you said to Corey Kluber, okay, we'll give you $15 million for 1 year, and he says he'll agree to it, I can tell by your face, I know your answer, but yes or no, would you do it? 1 year, $15 million.
No, I wouldn't give Kluber $15 million at this point in his career.
No, and Powder said it best. I mean, if you're closer to a championship, I'm like, hey, it's money, but
Yeah.
but that's just like that's not 11 with incentives. That's just a flat $11 million, and the Yankees are closer. And I mean, Tanaka might be going back to Japan, so I mean that actually makes it a much more a desperate. They're a little desperate,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
and so
Okay. That's
they're
totally
closer
fair.
to a championship than you are, and that's fine
That's fair.
for now.
Totally fair. Just wanted to throw it out there into the universe. So we'll see what happens with this Red Sox team. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. Andrew Benintendi might be out the door. He might still stay. I don't know. And like you guys have said, there's still some shoes that need to fall and some pieces that need to sort of happen first. So we'll see what happens. But I want a reason to be excited about baseball again. And I'm not talking about travel baseball. I'm talking about actual professional Red Sox baseball. So we'll see what happens. But one team that's actually kind of fun to watch is the Celtics. So the Boston Celtics, they were back, went 1-1, creamed the Orlando Magic. I think it was like 124-97. They had a stinker against the Knicks, but it is what it is. You know, Jason Tatum, he's still not back yet. Robert Williams, projected to be back for Wednesday night's matchup with the Philadelphia 76ers. So the first thing that we can talk about a little bit is this James Harden trade. We talked about it in the roll call a little bit. Harden's in Brooklyn. He's happy to be a net. By the way, is it me or did he magically lose like 30 pounds?
Oh, yeah.
You guys see that? Do you guys see that side-by-side thing?
I think that maybe the blue in Houston didn't do him justice.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that might have been the same way.
I mean, it shows me not to wear like blue anymore. So
Yeah.
or do that. I mean, yeah, because like there were some videos that like showed him like he was in shape, and then you just see this. I think he was wearing a fat suit. I'm not gonna lie.
No, that's what some people think. You might be onto something there. Because he looked like he was out of shape in Houston. Then all of a sudden, his first game in Brooklyn, he looks like he's in the best shape of his life. But anyways, my whole thing is this. You now have two guys in Brooklyn. And I'm not even talking Kevin Durant, because we know Kevin Durant can play with James Harden. They did it together in OKC for years before Harden went to Houston. You now have Kyrie Irving and James Harden on the same team. Two ball-dominant guards. They need the ball in their hands. My question is, how is that going to work? I'm not worried about Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant is selfless enough where he knows he can be the guy, but he also knows he needs help to win championships. That's why he went to Golden State and he won 2 championships, because he had great talent around him. So now you have a Brooklyn team that, let's face it, they kicked the crap out of the Celtics on Christmas. They did. Second half, they just blew them out of the water. Now you add a guy like James Harden in there. Is it safe to say that Brooklyn, just went from being a considerable favorite to the favorite in the East? Maybe. I'm not saying 100%, but maybe. And how does this affect the Celtics? Because I still think this Celtics team, top to bottom, is extremely talented. I mean, you start off with your two superstars in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum in no particular order. But you start off with those two guys. You have the rest of your starting lineup. You have guys like Grant Williams, Robert Williams, Jeff Teague, Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench. You have pieces there to compete. And you were, at one point, you were the number 1 seed in the East. I know it's early in the season, but still, you can say for a couple, however long it was, a couple days, Celtics were the number 1 team in the East.
I think you still are.
Are they? Or did Milwaukee take their place because they played an extra game?
No, you're tied with Milwaukee.
Tied with Milwaukee?
Because Milwaukee lost last night too.
Okay, so there you go. So you're tied. So you're tied for first with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Actually, and you technically have the tiebreaker right now. So.
Yeah, because you beat the Bucks. Okay, so whichever way you want to put it, they're either tied for first, whatever. Yeah. There's a 1 somewhere.
Yeah, I'm just looking on the ESPN app. So
I got you covered. So my whole thing is this: the James Harden trade again, and I'm gonna keep saying it. I want to see how him and Kyrie Irving mesh together, because if Kyrie Irving continues to be the center of attention and in a negative light, it's not going to bode well for that Brooklyn team. Now, could they win with just James Harden and Kevin Durant? Obviously, they could win with that. But if you add Kyrie Irving into the mix and they're all playing well, who can realistically stop them in a 7-game series is my question. Maybe Milwaukee, maybe Boston, maybe, but those are big maybes. So that's my whole thing. I want to give me like a 10 to 15 game stretch with the three of them together first. And then I can give you the full impact that it'll have on not only the Celtics, but the rest of the league. That's just me. So, Fee, I'll go to you, and then I'll go to Powder. Fee, go ahead.
I think that if they could just somewhat defend, they're going to be unstoppable. I'm going to be honest. I mean, James Harden is, if you've seen it, has been more of the guard, has been the point. I mean, great. And if they can make Kyrie more of the two, in that sense, I think it would work. Because James Harden is a very good passer. I think people forget that and everything. Yeah, just that last night they could, even without Kyrie, they could score at will. And granted, they're only going to be all three of them are only going to be on the floor together at the beginning of the game, beginning of the second half, and then the final 5 to 6 minutes. Literally, it's only going to be, you got to have a Kyrie lineup with Durant or Kyrie with Harden. You're going to have one of the guys can kind of control for a little bit also. I mean, it's going to work because stars win in that. It will be a question if they can defend it, because they really couldn't do it against Milwaukee yesterday. And they've had that struggle. Now they don't have as much depth, but I mean, compared to what they had before, but still, they're a very good team. Again, I don't think it really impacts the Celtics as much in that sense, because it doesn't affect the timeline. The Celtics are doing everything. And I don't really think it affects the Bucks. I think the team that it really affects is the Philadelphia 76ers and the Heat. I mean, we saw the reports of what was on the table between the Sixers and the Rockets. Would you make that trade? I think you do, especially the way Embiid's playing and his age. You do, and you were thinking that too. So there's that.
No. I was. You're right.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe the Heat don't look like the same team. I mean, they have Bam, but and he's playing very well. But I'm sorry. Do you really think Tyler Hero is going to be the next James Harden? He's going to be a very good player in this league, but let's stop. Let's stop. Let's pump the brakes.
Yes, please, everybody. Go ahead, Powder.
Just kind of piggyback off both of you. You made great points. Just like Fee said, I think the Celtics timetable is not pushed up or anything. I think the Celtics still a year or two away. So this just makes the Nets, maybe gives them a chance to win it this year. But who knows what Kyrie's even going to be like this year. He hasn't played in a while. So hopefully, maybe that affects them, and it could give the Celtics a window to take them in a 7-game series. But I just think, like Fee said, if they can defend, the Nets are going to be unstoppable, because just having all the scoring options they have, and have Durant and Harden who win scoring titles, they can score 35 points a game with ease. So just having that talent on team is unbelievable. So maybe if Kyrie screws it all up, that gives the Celtics opportunity to jump them. But if they can play together, then they're going to be the best team in the league, in my opinion.
They very well could be. There's a lot of scoring options, and there's a lot of big games coming up. Speaking of which, the biggest game of the football season's coming up, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. What game would that be, Powder?
The Super Bowl.
Fee, are you ready for some football?
Yeah.
If you're ready for some football, just like we all are, the biggest game of the year is upon us on February 7th in Tampa, and it's time to get your balls feeling super. Our partners, as you know, the Legends Lingo podcast is sponsored by Manscaped. Our partners at Manscaped are here to tell you to join the already 2 million men who trust Manscaped products for their below-the-waist grooming needs. By the way, who's the tight end on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I forget. Can someone tell me?
Gronkowski.
So that would be Rob Gronkowski? Yeah, Gronk gave some advice. You want to hear that advice? Take Gronk's advice. Shave your Super Balls. Use the best tools to reduce nicks and cuts before the best game, and choose the Manscaped package, in that case being the perfect package, 3.0. Included is the Lawnmower 3.0, which is simply the best hygiene tool for the modern man. Because of their ceramic blade and skin-safe technology, your snags will be reduced, and don't settle for unnecessary roughness below the waist, because that will just hurt. Ouch. It also has waterproof technology and has a 90-minute battery. You should not be shaving for more than 90 minutes. Otherwise, you might have another problem. Believe me when I tell you, this is the Super Bowl champion of ball trimmers. The Perfect Package 3.0 also comes with the Crop Preserver and the Crop Reviver. The Crop Preserver is an anti-chafing ball deodorant to keep your nuts in the game for all 4 quarters. And the Crop Reviver is a spray-on toner for your balls. It is made with soothing aloe and witch hazel extracts that will give your balls a boost in clutch time. Manscaped even threw in their shed travel bag to keep all your goodies stored comfortably. Speaking of comfort, the Manscaped anti-chafing boxer briefs are also included and will bring your boxer game to the next level. Complete your top-to-bottom grooming game with the new refined cologne signature scent by Manscaped. With the same signature scent that's all in Manscaped's formulas, this cologne is a perfect complement. As Powder holds it up for us, look at that. Look at that box. Look at that little bottle. It's a perfect complement to all your Manscaped collection. It's a whole new balls game to Super Bowl. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code LLP at manscaped.com. Your super balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code LLP at manscaped.com. Again, 20% off, free shipping. Use the code LLP. Tackle your pubes and win the Super Bowl in your pants with our friends at Manscaped. Okay, final topic we're sort of going to talk about tonight. It involves the NFL. We can talk about the Patriots. We'll give our championship picks. First thing we want to talk about, Deshaun Watson. We've been sort of talking about it for the last about 5-6 episodes. Deshaun Watson, he's disgruntled. There are some teams out there that want him. The Dolphins are a potential fit. The Jets have even been, in the odds to maybe try to get him, especially with Robert Saleh now taking the head coaching job with the Jets. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. If he ends up in Miami or somehow he ends up with the Jets, I'm going to be scared. I'm going to be Patrick the Starfish for all of our SpongeBob fans out there with the shirt, with the meme saying, Mom, come pick me up. I'm scared. Because if we have to play Deshaun Watson twice every year for the next, 5 to 7 years, I'm not looking forward to it. Considering you've also played him for 3-4 years now in a row, at least. And you've lost the last 2 years to him. So I'm a little worried. I'm a little scared. So my whole thing is, do I think Deshaun Watson is going to end up a Patriot? Realistically, no, I don't. Should you be making a play at him? Absolutely. But there's also a scenario here that I would love where Watson ends up in San Francisco. They say bye-bye to Jimmy G. Smell you later. Thanks for bringing us to a Super Bowl, but we have a better option. And then Jimmy G ends up back here where he belongs, with everything that happened with Brady. And by the way, if you're a Patriots fan, you should be rooting for Brady to get to the Super Bowl and potentially win it, because that'll drive Belichick more, hopefully, to say, okay, he got it this year, but you know what? We have money. We have a decent draft pick. We can retool this team and we can get back to the playoffs and make another run. So, again, Tom Brady fans, Rob Gronkowski fans, you root for who you want to on Sunday, but it's not the worst thing if they go to the Super Bowl. But going back to Deshaun Watson, guys, we've been saying this for a couple of weeks. Go get him if you can. Now, obviously, Deshaun Watson, no trade clause. He has to approve it. We understand that. But if you can just convince him, hey, you're playing for arguably the greatest head coach of all time. We will bring in receivers for you. People will want to play with you. So, especially if you bring in a Corey Davis, you bring in potentially you shoot for the stars, go for a Juju Smith-Schuster, and you revitalize. Maybe you sign a tight end in Hunter Henry. Maybe you draft one in Kyle Pitts. So there's options out there to make this team better. But if you got that first domino to fall and you got that quarterback once the offseason officially starts, then hey, there's something there. But I'm done with that. Just you guys can talk about Deshaun Watson however you feel. Floor's open, whoever wants it.
I think that you mentioned the San Francisco thing. I'm going to get that to a minute. You're at a very stark point right now. For the Patriots, you're kind of a laughing stock right now. A little bit, people are laughing at you, because Tommy's going to his 14th championship game. Ridiculous in that self. 14. You're having this. You kind of screwed up. You screwed up the transition from Brady. You screwed it up. You dropped the ball and. You want to know who had out of the 5 top markets, guess who, of watching the Saints game? You want to name the 2 markets for me? out that had it.
Boston, Providence.
Yep. Were, I believe, 2 and 3. Green Bay was 4 for good reasons. I mean, those fans want to see who they're going to be playing. But Tom sells tickets, and a lot of people were pissed. I mean, and a lot of people online. I'm in the camp Brady's greater than Belichick or Brady wins. I'm in that, but I'm not going to go fantasizing it because it sucks for the team in that sense. But, yeah, if they want Deshaun Watson, they're going to have to. I mean, and it seems like from the proposals and the rumors, the Texans don't want any of the quarterbacks potentially in trades. They would want to draft one. I mean, yeah, the Jets already have the best offer, Dolphins second, but a team that I feel like he's going to go to the NFC, and I agree with you, it might be the 49ers, because they can literally offer 2 firsts and then Nick Bosa. Literally. And then literally it's like, all right, you get the 12th pick and the first next year in J.J. Watt's replacement for when you ship J.J. Watt out of town to recoup some more draft capital. And then you can draft whatever quarterback you want. Deshaun Watson gets to go play out with one of the best offensive minds in football, Mike Shanahan. And Shanahan and Kyle Shanahan. I mean, both are great minds anyway, father-son combo. So, I mean, in that sense. So, be with Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Ayuk, and then that offensive line running game with the defense they still have, that team will be perennial 12-4, 13-3 every year. So, I mean, you have that. So, that's all I'm concerned because you're on the point of becoming irrelevant. You really are.
Yeah.
And it's not even just in football because if, say, Deshaun Watson comes here, Al, you shouldn't be a little scared. You should be terrified. You should be terrified because
I was holding back.
I hope I'm wrong with this, but if Deshaun Watson becomes a Jet or a Dolphin, you're not going to make the playoffs this decade.
Yep.
You will not be.
No, you're right. You're absolutely
no. And I don't want to be like, if you're a Patriots fan, it's like, oh, that's not going to happen. No, it's going to happen because you'll be fighting for the 7th seed, and that you still got the Ravens. The Browns are a good football team. Baker may not be the guy, but they have something there that works. And you still, and then you have the Chargers and with Herbert, and I don't know, you might be screwed. You might be screwed for the next decade. Yeah. So if the offer's there, if these teams are still deciding whether to make an offer, I just throw it out there. Here's 3 picks. Here's 4 first-round picks. I'd consider like the Ricky Williams type deal. Like it's that situation where it's like you got to figure it out. And if you're going to trade, even if you're going to trade for Matt Stafford, there's rumors it's going to cost a first and a third. And if you got to trade for Jimmy, it might be a second. And if you want to move up to get a quarterback, you might have to give up 2 firsts anyway. So you're going to be giving up. If you're going to be giving up a premium price, then go get a guy that's a top 5 quarterback. Don't half-ass it. Don't be like the Bruins and half-ass it.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So I'm with you guys. I think the Patriots at least should throw out a very good offer because, like Fee said, they're irrelevant. Like if they don't get a good quarterback and they have a bad year again, just more and more people are gonna fall out of love with the Patriots and realize it was Brady, not Belichick. Or I think Belichick still can prove that he is the greatest coach of all time, but he needs to have someone there to help him out and show and make the team at least decent. If the Patriots don't get someone, then I think they're going to be irrelevant. So why not put a big offer out there trying to get Deshaun Watson, and then if you do get him, get some weapons right away. Like Al said, go after some big-time receivers and make the team good again. Because defense is going to be there, but the offense just was abysmal this year.
Make the Patriots great. Make them again, at least a playoff team, make them exciting. But like Fee said, we could very well be on the road to being like a Lions fan. Ugh. Sheesh. I'm not saying you're that incompetent. I'm just saying like potentially.
No, I would say like more like the 49ers, be completely honest. They, the early 2000s, you had a great run for 20 years and then it just and then now, and they're finally getting back to potentially being a great team. They made a couple of Super Bowls in the last decade, but it took a while. And that's a concerning part. That's concerning, and you should be concerned. It's just not even in the NFL. You might become irrelevant in your own market. If the Red Sox ever got out there, If the Red Sox ever got their act together, like people say baseball's dying or not, when the Red Sox are good, people fall.
Yes.
And it doesn't, because this is a baseball city. People want to crap on baseball, it's fine. But when the Red Sox are good, people follow, and it's always the truth. And if the Bruins ever get on a run, people follow. If the Celtics get hot, people follow. You don't want to be behind that. The 8-ball with that.
So we're going to move on. We're going to move into our AFC and NFC Championship picks. Potter's going to give us a quick update. Potter, go ahead.
Yep. So coming into this week, Al was in first place with a 5-1 record. I was in second place with a 4-2 record, and Fee was in third place with a 3-3 record. So Fee went 2-2 on the week, correctly picking the Packers and the Chiefs winning, but he also picked the Saints and Ravens, who both lost. Then Al went 3-1, picking the Packers, Bucks, and Chiefs, who all won. Fee talked him into picking the Ravens, who ended up losing. And then,
That's okay.
Yep. Then I went 4-0. So as of right now, Al and I are tied for first at 8-2, and Fee is in second at 5-5.
Hey, so you got the results now. So let's break it down. Let's start in the AFC.
Yeah.
We'll go with the Bills, number 2 seed Bills at the number 1 seed Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, there's a lot of headlines going into this one. Patrick Mahomes, who knows how he's going to be because he suffered a concussion and he had a foot injury after the Cleveland game. Yes, Fee.
I'm just saying that we should make a note so it doesn't screw us in the end. If Mahomes doesn't play, we should make one for Mahomes plays and Mahomes doesn't play.
I agree.
That's the only fair way, because that's the only fair way. I just wanted to make a note of that.
That's clear. That's clear. You were raising your hand, so I had to be like one of my students. I was like, yes, Thomas.
I was just like, I wanted to make sure you were listening. I didn't want to be interrupting.
No, you're good. You're good. So let's start with that. So Fiesta, you can start off first. You can do your pick if Patrick Mahomes plays and if he doesn't play. Go for it.
Well, if Patrick Mahomes doesn't play, it's going to be a lot closer game. And I would pick the Bills. I won't lie to that. If Patrick Mahomes doesn't play. And it seems like he's practicing, so I don't know. But if Patrick Mahomes is playing, it's the Chiefs. When he's on the field, it's just a different animal, and they probably steamroll over the Bills. No offense, Bills fans. It's just like they were toying with the Browns the entire game, and it could have been a lot worse if Mahomes played. So Mahomes plays the Chiefs. If he doesn't, I don't trust Chad Henne for 4 quarters. I mean, you kind of saw what happened with that deep pass. It's like, even if they have a lead, I don't feel safe. So clenching butt cheeks there. So, So Chiefs, Mahomes plays, Bills, and Mahomes doesn't.
Okay. Powder?
I'm just going to go with a pick straight up, and I just think it's destiny. I'm going to have the Bills win no matter what.
Being a little daring over there. I like it. I like it a lot. You know what, Powder? I'm going to join you because guess what? I think the Bills, I think it's the Bills' year. I think that even if Patrick Mahomes plays, he's not going to be 100%. That's going to be a thing. And you know what? If, like Fee said, if Chad Henne doesn't play, or if Chad Henne plays, if Patrick Mahomes doesn't, Chiefs aren't going to want to have Chad Henne in there for 4 quarters. And plus, this Bills team, they have enough offensive power where if they get behind a little bit, they can come back. They can make some big plays down the field. So, you know what? I'm going Bills straight up with or without Mahomes. Now we're going to move into the NFC Championship. Bucks, Packers, Brady, Rodgers, Tampa Bay Bucks' first NFC Championship since their 2002 Super Bowl run. I actually watched that America's game last night. It's a very good one. You should watch it if you ever have the opportunity. I'm going to go first with this one just to go reverse order. I hate to say this, but I think Tom Brady's run this year anyway ends. I'm going with the Packers because I think Aaron Rodgers, first time at home playing in a conference championship game, by the way. First time ever he's doing that at Lambeau. So I think that the Packers offense is going to show up. As long as the Packers don't turn the ball over, then they're going to be fine. Because if you think about it, the Bucs-Saints game, 21 of the 30 points that the Bucks scored were off Saints turnovers.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers, very smart, throws the ball away when he needs to, can create plays with his feet. And at the flick of a wrist, he can just throw the ball 40 yards downfield to Devontae Adams or whoever's open. So I'm going with the Packers, and I have a Packers-Bills Super Bowl. Powder will go to you, then we'll end with Fee.
I just think it's destiny that the Bills get to the Super Bowl, and they think they finally got away from Brady, but Brady's sitting there waiting for them, just to break their hearts once again. So I'm having Bucks win this, and I think the Bucks defense. I know Breeze could not make many throws, but they still were hitting hard all game long. They're making tackles. There weren't too besides the special teams. There weren't too many like missed tackles or broken tackles. So I think the Bucks defense played well enough. So I'm going Bucks winning that.
And Tom Brady's sitting there like this.
Yep.
Waiting for the Bills. All right, Fee.
Before I get to that, I changed the Chiefs Bills. I'm just gonna go straight Chiefs. I gotta be different. Gotta catch up.
That's
I gotta
fair.
catch up.
That's fair.
I gotta catch up.
Smart.
So
that's smart.
It's tough to play in Kansas City. It just really is. No matter what. This game, you know who's been the hottest quarterback in football?
Tom Brady.
Yeah, but who's been the other guy?
Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, and somebody tweeted at me. It's like I tweeted out something. Oh, well, it's going to be a tough matchup between the Bucks and Rodgers. Somebody, well, the Bucks stopped Rodgers the last time through 2 picks. Well, since that game, Aaron Rodgers had 41 total touchdowns, 37 passing, 4 rushing, and 3 picks. Like Aaron Rodgers was great, and then took it to another level that I don't think we've seen before, or haven't seen in a few years. I don't know how they stop him. I really don't. And besides Brady, Gronk, and AB, and maybe JPP, not a lot of those guys are playing cold weather. And it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold. And I think that Green Bay, I'm not going to say they're going to roll, but this is going to be, I think Green Bay has the advantage. And just like Aaron Rodgers rarely turns the football over. And I just think they can run the football too and get that play action pass going. So I'm going to go Green Bay. Go, Pack, go. Go, Pack,
go.
Go, Pack, go. So I'm going original, the first ever Super Bowl matchup, Chiefs, Packers in Tampa in February for Super Bowl 54.
So just a recap real quick. All 3 of us have different Super Bowl matchups, which is perfect. Al has Bills and Packers in the Super Bowl. Fee has Chiefs and Packers, and I have Bills, Bucks.
All righty. So there you have it. It's going to be a fun weekend. Good championship games are going to be happening. So hopefully you have about 7 hours to watch them on TV. But I think that's it, guys. That's it for episode 104. As always, couchguysports.com. Check everything out. Manscaped.com, promo code LLP, 20% off and free shipping. Go use it. Follow us on Twitter at CouchGuySports. Our individual Twitters. I'm at BigAl2793. Powder is at Powder42308. And Fiesta is at TSF52. A lot of numbers, but you can listen back and then you can follow us. Mm-hmm. Follow everything that's going on. Okay. All the podcasts, not just ours. If you want to follow us on Twitter at Lingo Legends, send us a message, send us DMs. We like to talk with our fans. We like to get polls going. We like to, just chat it up with everybody. That's what we're about. We're about having fun and talking with people about sports and whatever else you want to talk about. But if nothing else, for episode 104, we got Fiesta, we got Powder, we got myself, Al. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you next week for episode 105.
Yes, sir.